The Ullambana Sutra. Thus have I heard. Once the Lord Buddha was residing in the Jeta Grove of Anathapindada in the city of Shravasti. Mahamadgalyayana, or Mulyan, had just succeeded in obtaining the 6 supernatural powers. Wishing to save his father and mother, and to repay the debt of having taken his mother's milk, he surveyed the world realm with the supernatural eyesight, and found his deceased mother reborn among the hungry ghosts. Neither food nor water were to be seen anywhere, and she was nothing but walking skin and bone. Grieved at this sight, Mulyan filled his bowl with rice and set off to give it to his mother. When his mother saw the bowl, she seized it with her left hand and scooped up the rice with her right. But no sooner did the food reach her mouth than it turned into flaming coals, making it impossible for her to eat. Mulyan wailed in anguish, and with tears streaming down his cheeks, he rushed back to the Buddha and told him all that he had experienced. The Buddha said to him, "The roots of your mother's sins are deeply knotted indeed. It is not something that you alone have the power to do anything about. Even though word of your filial devotion may shake heaven and earth, the gods of heaven, the gods of earth, depraved demons, the masters of heterodox teachings, and the 4 divine kings and their spirits would also be unable to help her. It will require nothing less than the awesome spiritual power of the monastic Sangha of the 10 directions for her to get free. I will now teach you a method that will relieve her plight, and that will cause all beings who are beset with difficulty to be delivered from their sufferings and have their sinful obstacles eliminated." The Buddha told Mulyan, "When the monastic assembly of the 10 directions releases itself from the summer rains retreat on the 15th day of the 7th month, you should prepare on behalf of past parents of 7 generations and any living parents who are currently experiencing crisis all manner of cooked delicacies, fresh fruits, vessels for bathing and ablution, aromatic oils, lamps and candles, couches and bedding, all being of the finest and most flavorful quality in the world. Place them with the Ullambana bowls and offer them to the greatly virtuous monks of the Universal Sangha. On that day, the entire assembly of saints, whether absorbed in meditation, deep in the mountains, or having obtained the 4 fruits of the path, whether they be engaged in walking meditation beneath the trees, or Shravakas or Pratyeka Buddhas engaged in teaching and converting by means of the 6 supernatural powers, or whether they be greatly accomplished bodhisattvas of the 10 stages, who, as an expedient device, take on the appearance of bhikshus, all gather together in the grand assembly, and with one and the same mind they receive the bowls and array of foods. Being perfectly observant in the pure precepts, the religious powers of this assembly of saints are like a vast ocean. Whoever should give offerings to these monks who have allowed for disclosure of their sins and have been newly released from retreat, their present mothers and fathers and their mothers and fathers for 7 generations back, along with the 6 degrees of kin, will thereby escape the torment of the 3 lower destinies. Then and there they will be released from their plight, with food and clothing supplied spontaneously to them as needed. If the donor's parents are still alive, they will enjoy a full 100 years of good fortune and happiness. If it is a deceased parent within 7 generations, he or she will be reborn in the heavens. Taking birth by spontaneous transformation, they will enter the sublime and beflowered radiance of the heavens, where they will enjoy countless pleasures." At that time, the Buddha ordered that the Universal Sangha should always begin by making benedictory prayers on behalf of the 7 generations of parents from the households of the donors. Then, after having concentrated their minds in meditation, they may finally accept the meal. When the bowls are brought to the Sangha, one should first place them in front of the stupa. Only after the monastic assembly has finished making benedictory prayers may they help themselves to the food. At that time, the bhikshu, mulyan, and this grand gathering of the Bodhisattva Sangha all rejoiced. The sound of Mulyan's endless tears and grief finally faded away. For at that moment, Mulyan saw that his mother, on that very day, had gained release from an eon of torment as a hungry ghost. Therefore, Mulyan again addressed the Buddha, saying, "This has all come to pass because your disciples' mother and father have been enfolded in the merit power of the three jewels and the awesome spiritual power of the monastic Sangha. If in future times there are disciples of the Buddha who wish to discharge their filial devotion, they also should offer these Ullambana bowls. But will it be possible for them to deliver their current parents and parents back as far as 7 generations?" The Buddha replied, "Excellent. I am delighted that you ask. I was just about to preach on the very question that you now raise. Good son, if there are bhikshus, bhikshunis, kings, princes, grand ministers, counselors, members of the 3 levels of duke or the 100 offices, or even commodores from among the populace at large who wish to carry out their filial obligations and love for their parents, they should in all cases fill Ullambana bowls with the myriad delicacies, and on the 15th day of the 7th month, the day when the Buddhas rejoice, and the day when the Sangha confesses and releases itself from the summer rain's retreat, should donate them to the newly released Sangha of the 10 directions, on behalf of the parents who bore them in this current life and parents of 7 generations past. They should pray that their present parents will thereby enjoy a lifespan of 100 years, free of all illness and calamity, and that 7 generations of past parents may escape suffering as a hungry ghost and enjoy the peerless delights and good fortune that come with being born among humans and gods." The Buddha told the good sons and good daughters that, should such a disciple of the Buddha wish to cultivate filial devotion to his parents, he should constantly bear in mind the thought of his current parents and his parents of 7 generations back. Every year on the 15th day of the 7th month, he should lovingly recall to mind, with devotion and filial affection, the parents who bore him in this lifetime, down to those parents of 7 generations past. He should fashion Ullambana bowls on their behalf and donate them to the Buddha and the monastic Sangha, in order to repay the debt of his parents' constant nurturing and love. Any and every disciple of the Buddha should uphold this teaching. Having heard what the Buddha preached, Mulyan and the 4 classes of followers joyfully received and put it into practice.